Hey everybody, it's Aquila and this is a Lefty Knitter podcast episode. I wrote it down, 274. Welcome to my channel. This is a channel primarily about crafting with fiber arts. So yarn, knitting, crocheting, sock cranking, whatever I feel like diving into. So I have some stuff to show you. Today is already June 7th. It's Saturday. I'm going to record this just in one clip today because, life's been hectic and that's just what's happening. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is my Tolsta tea. This is by Crabby. I don't know her real name. That's really terrible. And I had showed you guys this last week. I don't know what happened here. I think it was when it switched from ribbing to stockinette. I just have to adjust some of the stitches. It's totally fine. It doesn't look bad. It's just you can notice it on screen a lot more than you can in person. I am wearing a tank top under this only because it is a little bit see-through. But yes, the Tolsta tea. So there are there are many variations of the Tolsta tea, and I think I might make another one out of this yarn. Maybe not. I'm not sure. I also have some ideas. I definitely want to make one out of the yarn I purchased from Frogget and Rising Tide. That's these yarns here. So I definitely still want to make one out of these yarns. This pattern I feel like is a great raglan pattern for a beginner. It has some short row shaping in the back, but it's really great. And so I have it on just with some shorts today. This is the Hempathy yarn, and I used every little bit of it. I had 4 balls. I've talked about this in previous podcasts. I had gotten a fill a bag, and I got 4 balls of 6 colors, and so this was one of the colors, and I really, really like it. Like I said, have made now 3 tops out of this yarn, and I really like it. Also, I forgot to mention, down below will be any links to designers, patterns, yarn, stuff, etc. So if I don't mention something, just ask me and I'll make sure I reply in the comments about it. So I love this. I love it so much. I didn't get to block it till maybe the middle of this week, and then I did weave in all my ends, and it's great. I have to get a little tag to put on the back. I just have a scrap piece of yarn so I know what's the front and back. It's a little hard to tell with the short row shaping. It's hard to, you can't always see front versus back, especially if it's not a lot of short row shaping. Some of the short rows on these raglans, it'll go into color work or it'll go into lace detail, and you really can tell if it's a little sliver yarn, fabric in the front versus the back where it has a larger space. So the other thing I did finish is my wall hanging. I need to steam it. I need to just get my iron out and steam it, but I finished it. Isn't it cute? It was the perfect little nighttime project for me to complete. So I'm going to hang it up, and it had plenty of yarn, or macrame cord I should say. It is the DIY Moon Phase Mini Macrame, and I got it at the Blue Pelican, and it is made by Tangled Up in Hue. So I finished that. Very excited to, I might have showed the wrong side. This is definitely the correct side where you see the knots. But I'm going to try to steam it so it gets some of the kink out of that, and I'll hang it up. Isn't that great? So good. Okay. I am kind of feeling a little manic, and I've been feeling a little manic just in general. I've been casting on new things and then switching to other stuff. I have things I want to finish, but let's talk about, I had to go to the thrift store. I was looking for, well, you never know what you're looking for, right? At the thrift store. Sorry, I'm messing with my hair. But I saw this, but I do think it is maybe all synthetic. That's okay. It does pull out to be able to draft it. I have it in a bag. I'm going to put it in my deep freeze. I got this for $3, and I didn't weigh it. When I burned it, it definitely smelled like plastic though. So I'm not quite sure. I don't know where an end is, or else I'd well, now I've just pulled it all out. But it was, when I untangled it, it was like on a tie. So I thought that was quite interesting that it was on a tie. Why would somebody take the time if it was all acrylic? I don't know. I'm not quite sure. It's got 2 ties on it. Like somebody like dyed it. It does pull apart though, like to be able to draft it. And I definitely did this in the store and was like messing with twisting it, etc. So it will spin. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but for $3, I thought that was a cool little purchase. So I have a lot of finished objects actually today. So let's keep moving on. I cast this on. This is Upland Fiber Co. in the Harvest colorway, I believe. And this is a photographer hat. And I showed you guys the beginning of this last week. I haven't blocked it. I think it'll do for a good blocking because I was holding fingering weight double. It was definitely a little thicker fingering weight yarn. But John likes wearing his hats like rolled up, super beanie style. And this is now a finished object. I did have to rip out about 1.5 inches in the body. He didn't like how tall it was. So I ripped out all the decreases, ripped out 1.5 inches of stockinette, and then where my needle was, wherever it was, I just did the decreases and finished the hat. So he's happy with it now. It's definitely a thicker hat. It's definitely going to be like more winter wear than fall wear. So I've made this hat many times. I just watched Ambi Marie Knits podcast, and she was also making a photographer hat, and she didn't blame me. She didn't blame me. She mentioned that she cast a photographer hat on because I've made so many, and I have made so many of these hats. They're a really good go-to hat, and you can do DK and worsted. You just have to fudge your numbers a little bit. Totally a great hat. It's free, Lavanya Patricella. It'll be linked down below. We had the Crabby Crankin, and what my goal was for the Crabby Crankin this time was I wanted to bring my ribber and use my ribber. And so it was very satisfying to be able to talk to other people about ribbing and their ribbers, and another person there was trying to get her ribber to work, and we made some adjustments, and I think she's now ribbing, and that's so exciting. Like, even if you like learn one little thing at a Crankin, it's like so worth it. So I took my ribber, and I had both of these socks. I had the first of the 2 cranked already, and I had put them aside because the ribbing takes a while. It's not satisfying, but it takes longer because you're switching out cylinder needles to ribber needles. And sorry if I go too much into this. Long story short, I had cranked. This is Pretty Twisted Yarns. It was a club colorway called Ogtober, like October, but it was August's colorway, and it's really fun. So it's like Halloween-y, and I had cranked one with the ribbing because it only has rib here. I did a E-wrap selvage edge, did 20 rows of ribbing, and the rest of the sock is really just plain knitting. And so I had put it aside and didn't make the second one. Well, I was determined. I brought it with me. I counted as best I could to have a matching sock because I did not have the notes for this anymore. And I made the second one at the Crankin. The other one I knew was going to be a little more difficult. I started with this one because it only had minimal ribbing. And then I went on to the next one. The next one, I was practicing doing ribbing. I'll just show both. What's the point of showing one? This is a Knit Picks Felici. I don't know the colorway. It's older. It's not available, I don't believe, anyway. So this one goes from a 1x1 rib to a 3x1 rib, and then you do a pre-heel where there's no ribbing, and then you go into your heel. This might not be on the right blockers, or I just don't have it pulled up. Okay, let me hold one because it's easier. So there's a pre-heel where there's no ribbing on the back of the sock. So wherever you're going to do your heel, you remove the ribber needles and put your cylinder needles back in for straight stockinette for those. And that gives like a flat part in your shoe. Some people don't like ribbing or texture further down. And then I do my short row heel. So because I had ribbing stitches still on the other side of the sock, I had to make the whole heel pretty much, I won't say blind, but you can't see in the cylinder because the ribber and tappet plate are sitting on top of your cylinder. So you can't see inside. So I did my heel, and I then finished the rest of the foot with stockinette and ribbing on the top. Then I switched over to do a pre-toe to all cylinder needles, so it's all stockinette, and then I did my toe. So I did this. I did drop stitches. I caught them the best of my ability. You probably would never be able to tell from me just holding. If I showed you the inside of the sock, you would see where I latched up the best I could, and then I tied it off with some scrap yarn from this ball. And you'll never know. You'll never know. It's great. So yeah, I'm glad to have the second one done, and I am determined to keep working with my ribber. I have another sock that I cranked at the Crankin that has ribbing on it, and I am determined to keep figuring the ribber out, figuring tension with the ribbing. It feels different on your leg than just a regular stockinette sock, so that's where we're at. Oh, should I do my last finished object? I don't know when this pattern came out, but it was number 2 on Ravelry yesterday, and I purchased it. So let me just show you, and then I'll talk about it. Okay. So it's not very good ASMR because, well, I'll talk about that in a bit. This is the Geodes pattern by Megan Lapp, and the Instagram is Crafty Intentions. When I saw this, I knew I had to have it. So it's like a fidget, and I like it. I do think faceted beads. So these are just pony beads, 5mm pony beads that my daughter had, and I stole them from her. I told her I'll buy her more if she really wants them, but she hasn't touched these in I don't know how long. So, I don't know. Okay, so I don't want to give away like too much, but all this information is pretty much in the Ravelry pattern page. It talks about using faceted beads, which faceted beads mean they have cuts like on the sides to have flat sides. There's probably a better technical term for faceted definition, but they're not round. See, those are round. There's no flat sides. Faceted means there's flat sides all over. I didn't have any. I thought I ordered some. I didn't order faceted. So I have more pony beads coming. I'm determined to make this work though with the ones that I have coming, or maybe return them because I can do that. It's really hard to find the right size faceted beads. Well, at least on Amazon, that's where I was looking. So maybe I'm just not searching it correctly. I don't know. But the thing with doing this is you could pick a different size bead. These are 5mm holes. The holes are 5mm. The pony bead is like 14mm total. I think it calls for 14 by 8 or something like that with a 5mm hole. Okay. You could do this and just adjust the pattern to using a smaller hook with the size beads you have. So to do the way they put these beads on, your crochet hook has to go through the hole of the bead. I don't want to give too much other things away, but I have in my brain maybe another way I could make this work if I find faceted beads that are not the size called for. But I'm not gonna, that goes too much into, I feel like I would give away stuff of the pattern, and I'm not going to do that. It is an 80-page pattern. There are 3 sizes. This uses worsted weight, so again, you could adjust it to a different size. But it's different size, they get bigger. So this is the smallest, and then they get bigger. What else? Yeah, so you could adjust to a DK weight and a smaller hook, but your beads would also, you'd have to make sure the beads go through your hook. Okay, so, but you could make it work. So the pattern's 80 pages, like I said, because it has 3 sizes, but the designer also gives a bunch of information. They also, I believe, give a bunch of crochet abbreviations that are probably used in maybe other patterns. All the abbreviations covered quite a few pages, and they were not used in this specific pattern. So I believe the designer, which is smart in a to be able to just copy and paste from every pattern, right? But me looking at 80 pages, it'd be nice if maybe only the ones that are used in this pattern have like an asterisk next to them, or like, so it says these ones are going to be the ones you're using in this pattern, just so like a quicker reference. But having the whole reference guide is really great because I seen that they have a bunch of crochet patterns on their page. So it's not like I'm not being negative about it whatsoever. Just for me, quick reference would be easier, but I also think that being able to copy and paste them for every pattern is probably great, because then you're not like missing one when you're writing up the pattern. Like, they're all going to be there. Every term that you use will be available because you have this whole glossary of terms. So yeah, so there we go. I decided to do the darker in the middle and white. I only had these 2 color beads, so that's why it looks the way it is. There are clear ones, which I think would look really cool if you used a color changing yarn. That would be neat. So, all right, now we'll talk about some whips. Actually, I only have one. Well, I have the Sandworm spiral socks that I haven't worked on, but I only have one current whip, and I need to do a little more gauge swatching for the next whip. I really wanted to go right into making another Tolsta tee with that yarn, but I think I'm going to give myself a break because I want to make another pattern. But I had this caked up. This is Frogget. This is a tweed base. This is Olive Tree by Frogget Yarns. And I had both this and that orange yarn wound so I could work on hats while on vacation. Well, I never got to the second one because I worked on this so much. And that's okay. I am working on it now. It was already caked and I was sitting there and I didn't know what to do. So I started another photographer hat. This is being held double again. It's a fingering weight being held double. And I am almost to the point of switching to stockinette. So I told you, I make a lot of these. I'll put a stitch marker in so hopefully I can remember. But I mean, I think we'll be switching to stockinette. So I was gifted the Fierce, I think it's the Fierce sweater. I don't know if it's just called Fierce, the pattern. And I'll put the link down below for it. And I had purchased this yarn. This is from Feederbrook Farm. I had purchased some millends from Feederbrook. And I also had purchased some black from Feederbrook to make this pattern. I insert picture here, right? Because it's really pretty neat looking. So this is DK weight, and I already caked up one of them, the millends. Because when you get millends, they're different colors, but they try to put 3 that are similar together for you, which is awesome. I think it's a very cool way to like sell their millends. So I don't think I'll have, because this is really the main color and the changing color is the contrast color. I only have 2 of these and I just don't think I'm gonna have enough, even though it would be awesome with the black. I just don't think I'm gonna have enough. So I caked it up and then I rethought about it because I couldn't find this yarn on their website in all black. So I don't know if this was a one-off or whatever, but I couldn't find all black. They had like a dark charcoal, but it wasn't black. So I recently had also been gifted some yarn from Tammy of Cinematic Skeins, and this is Primrose Yarn Company in the Roan base, Roane, and she told me the colorway names, and I can't remember what they are right now, but she gave me this one and a lighter gray, which I know I had more of this one. And I am just swatching to see. I'm not swatching in the pattern, I'm just swatching stockinette, but I do want to switch over to pull a piece of the pattern from the chart and look at what the color work looks like. But isn't that gonna be cool together? I think it's dark enough that it'll look really cool with all of these. So that's my plan. That's hopefully my next knitting, but who knows? I have another pattern for another top. It's a tank top to make out of this yarn. But I also thought about, I know a few people have made the ranunculus and the love note without the lace at the top. And I thought that might be fun to try with one of the other colorways in this. I already made a ranunculus out of this, so maybe I'll make a love note with the lace out of this. I don't know. My head is just like, woo, woo, like all over the place when I don't know what I want to really do next, even though I totally should cast on the Tolsta tee in that yarn. That would be, but I caked that up, so now I feel like that's next. So what else has my week and 2 weeks look like? It has been just the start of summer. School's gonna be out soon. Hayes, my youngest, had her field day and school picnic and things like that. And so, yeah, and her cooking class is great. She's going to join us in a few. And we're going to talk about the last cooking class. I'll wait for her because it was pretty good one. It was a pretty good one. So let me pause this and see if I can get her wrangled down here. Before I get her down here, let me finish off books. I finished Red Dragon, which is the first in the Hannibal Lecter series. Super good. I mean, I really enjoyed the movie when I watched it. I had not read the books, and now I'm going to read all the books. And if you've not seen the movie, the book is really great, and I really highly recommend it. The thing that I guess didn't throw me off. It just, I feel like there would have been more excitement if I didn't already know how like Hannibal Lecter's brain worked, because it would have made you be like, what is happening, you know? So I just started Silence of the Lambs, so I am very early into that, and I did start my physical book of How to Sell a Haunted House, which maybe I didn't read the back cover. I don't even know if it says it on the back cover, actually. There's an element to it that I was not expecting. Well, and I'm still not sure what to think about it. So there's already been lots of good twisty turns in it, and I'm really enjoying that. And so we've been reading at night as a family for like whether that's 15-20 minutes or if we want to go longer. And I have been reading in the morning with coffee before like the world is awake and getting in a little bit of reading time, because if I read by myself and everybody else is asleep, I'm gonna fall asleep too. I just can't read a physical book at night if I can't stay like fully engaged. So when we're all in one room and we're all reading, it really is like this, I don't know, it's just this weird feel good moment because we're all reading, but yet we're all hanging out together. I know there's a term for this. I heard about this not long ago where it's like no. If I can remember, I'll put the name of it here, but it's pretty much like if you and a friend or you and a husband or you and whomever are hanging out and you don't have to talk, but you're just hanging out in the same space doing things that you like, whether you're both doing the same thing or doing things separately. There's a name for it. Something play. No. What do they call? Dang it. It's going to bother me. You might be screaming at me. But it feels good. it feels really good that you don't have to be overstimulated either. Because you don't have to carry conversation and do the thing that you're trying to do. I don't know if that makes sense, but if you understand what I'm saying, congratulations. So, all right. So other than that, I'm going to get her and we'll be back. Chef Hazel. So we have her recipe book with us because this week's stuff was... Stop! Why do you look like you're so dazed out? What is happening? With your tongue hanging out? Did you eat like some poisonous something or other? Did you eat the wrong mushrooms? What is happening?
I don't like mushrooms.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right, so what did you make this week? Because this week was really pretty good. Please stop. Look, like, don't show the book because I don't need people to know where you're going, okay? We have to keep some things private, okay?
Me made. So,
Oh my gosh.
flatbread with ham, fig, and arugula.
Arugula, you know that word.
Arugula.
And you have to speak
arugula.
clear and loud. Not loud, but they...
Flatbread with
Stop.
ham, fig, and arugula.
That's better. But there's some people that read lips, and then there's some people that watch with captions, and YouTube has to be able to capture the captions. Okay?
Okay. But you can use fig jam, not raw figs.
Okay. Let's cut the dramatic, weird attitude that I don't understand. Okay. So, what about this recipe did you love?
Oh, we also made...
But we're talking about this one, so let's continue with this one. What about this recipe? Because this was my favorite of the week.
It was easy to make.
And why was it easy to make?
Because the flatbread only needed 2 ingredients.
2 ingredients. That was pretty awesome. Yeah. Okay.
Greek yogurt and self-rising flour.
Right. Plain Greek yogurt.
Yeah.
Okay. So the recipe, we're not going to show you the recipe, but we'll real quickly say the flatbread is 2 cups of self-rising flour, more if needed, and 1 2/3 cups of plain Greek yogurt. You combine them in a bowl, right? You stirred them together.
Yes.
And then what did you do after that? Do you remember? Without reading? After you stirred it? Mm-hmm.
Then we put it in the oven.
No. It says turn the dough out on a clean surface and knead for 1 minute.
We didn't do that.
You didn't do that?
No.
How did you... Okay. Divide the dough into 4 balls.
We just squished it.
You just squished it? Okay. Well, so you can squish it versus kneading it?
I guess so. That's what we did.
Okay. Divide it into 4 balls, cover, and set aside. So this makes 4... Not 2, 4. 4. What are you doing? Rest for 10 minutes. And then it does say preheat your griddle. Roll out the dough to 1/4 inch thickness. Did you use a rolling pin? Or did you just press it with your hands?
We didn't. Chef Emily did.
She rolled it out for you? So she did. Okay, brush it with oil. It says olive oil as needed. And then you brown the flatbread on both sides. It was so good. Don't play with that, please. Okay, any other tips for the flatbread with fig and arugula? Because that was really good.
You do.
I thought it had feta on it.
No.
It does say feta or blue cheese.
We did use feta.
Oh, and also you put prosciutto on it or ham.
No.
Oh, it says ham.
The order that you... Go back.
Okay.
The order that you put it on the bread is jam, ham, greens, cheese.
Okay.
And then
Why
oil.
does that give the best presentation?
Yes.
Okay.
But we use balsamic glaze, not balsamic vinegar, balsamic glaze.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure she said it's like you just add like sugar and like
To make it thicker?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. This was also good.
Yeah, this was like really good. It's Apocalypse cookies, and it's Apocalypse cookies because all of the things that you use for it don't expire or the
take a long time.
It's like far away.
Okay. Should we?
So instead of milk and eggs, we used vegetable shortening and applesauce.
Good. Very good. Yeah. So that was really good. It's applesauce, vegetable shortening, sugar, brown sugar, vanilla extract, flour, baking powder, baking soda, salt.
I'm pretty sure we used
it was really good.
The self-rising flour on this one.
Oh, you did. You might have. It says all-purpose, but
isn't that the same thing?
No. Self-rising and all-purpose are different, I think. I think they're different. And the last thing you made was lemon loaf. And yes, it was good, but it didn't compare to the other 2 recipes. They made 3. So.
My favorite. Oh, and the tip for the Apocalypse cookies to make them actually look cool. Melt down some chocolate and put it in and like swirl it to look like a marble before you cook it. Or you can use it as like a glaze on top.
Oh, okay. Cool. Good tips. You got anything else to talk about? No, you're not gonna. I'm not cool enough to high five anymore. Things have changed.
And we didn't do this. We made just like a glaze that had like lemon zest in it. You should probably I don't really like my lemon bread or lemon loaf warm. So like if you add the glaze, I would rather put it in the fridge for the glaze to harden because I don't really want mine that hot either.
Oh, you liked your lemon loaf cold? You didn't like it warm? I thought it was good warm. I think it would be good both. All right. Do you have any opinions on this? Because I talked about it already.
Bigger and smaller beads.
Oh, mix them?
Not beads all the same size, just different sizes.
Yeah. I think that would give a better squish factor, right?
Hat.
It's a hat. Now we have a geode hat. Yeah, so I know I followed the directions, but I feel like there could be more. But once you turn it, there's Luna sighting. Once you turn it inside this way, they are pretty squished. I just think the beads with the sides would give more crunch, like more of a crunch. I don't know. Okay. Well, we're going to end this and just say...
YMCA.
Don't get me copyrighted.
No copyright. That looks like a peep.
Oh my god, it kind of does look like a peep. I always thought it looked like a heart. We're looking at Luna's markings.
It's like Mickey Mouse.
Mickey Mouse?
Mickey Mouse.
Oh my god.
And then
peep. Oh my god. Okay, well, please make sure you are taking care of yourselves, checking in on the people you care about and love, and doing all the things that make you happy. What makes you happy?
You and Daddy.
Me and Daddy? You make me happy. We've been enjoying reading. I was telling them about that too. Cooking classes. All right. Until the next episode, guys. Peace, love, and happy crafting. Bye.
No, when I throw it. Wait.
It'll go black. Okay.
When I throw it, can you end the sing?
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.